We haven't got.
I'll also start recording. Don't forget.
Eric, it's Adrian here. Can I just say I'm going to have to leave very promptly at 11. So
Okay. No,
if I leave without saying goodbye, I'll say it now.
No problem.
Adios.
Adios. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we'll get started. I can see Ian trying to sort out Marilyn's computer.
She should be in now.
Is she? Okay, great stuff, great stuff. Hi, Marilyn. Yes.
Hello.
Right, okay, let's get cracking. Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola.
Bienvenidos a la lección 18 de la clase de español. So, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about opposites, and today we're going to do more opposites. Finish off. Also talk about things that we do around the house, some new verbs, and if there's time, we're going to start looking at reflexive verbs, which are great fun, as everybody who's experienced them knows already. So let's have a look here. Opposites. Ancho y estrecho. Wide and narrow. This one always confuses me because I always hear estrecho, and I think stretch out, but it means stretched in. It means narrow. Estrecho is narrow. Ancho is wide. So, Caroline Gray, how would you say this street is narrow? You're on mute at the moment, Caroline, so you're going to have to unmute.
Este calle es estrecho.
Yeah, calle is the feminine noun, so we're esta calle. Esta calle es estrecha. Don't forget where we've got, I should really have put these in to avoid confusion, but where we've got an adjective ending in o or a, it will change to a or o, depending on the gender of the noun that is describing. So la calle, street is feminine, so esta, not este, esta calle es estrecha. Good. Largo y corto, long and short. That's nice and straightforward. Adrian, how would we say my scarf is very long?
Mi bufanda es muy larga.
Muy bien, muy bien. Excellent. And oh, this is a nice word, perezoso, for lazy, and lively, animado. So Carl, that dog is very lively. That dog is very lively.
Eso perro es muy animado.
Animado, yeah. You could use ese perro. That ese. Eso is the gender neutral version, where you don't know whether it's
I didn't know if it was a female. I didn't know if it was a female or male dog.
Well, yes, yeah. But if it's a female dog, it's la perra. El perro, la perra. And es muy animado. You could say, you certainly say that if the dog is inherently lively, if it's always lively. But if it's just lively at this particular time, we need to say esta. So it's this is one of the uses of ser and estar to describe an inherent characteristic or just something that's happening at this particular time. So we have strong and weak, fuerte y débil. Who's next on my list down here? We've got Paul, otherwise known as admin. You're the admin in the house.
No, that's fine, no problem.
So fuerte y débil. How would you say he is a big man but very weak?
Él es grande hombre, pero débil.
Yeah. I'd say él es certainly un hombre grande, not grande hombre, un hombre grande, pero es muy débil. Weak, or you know, just weak. Let's not rub it in if he's a bit weak. Let's not rub it in. Alegre is cheerful. You can and a great word, grugnon, or if it's a woman, grugnona, for grumpy. I like the word grumpy, and grugnon is a good word in
Eric,
Spanish.
In the Spanish version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, is one of them called grugnon?
Is there?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I'm sure there is. Yes, I've got quite a few children's books in Spanish from my grandchildren. We've got what's she called? Ricotas del Oro, Goldilocks, y las tres ojos, and the three bears. I don't think we've got Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but yes, I'm sure one of them is called Grugnon, El Grugnon. Yes. How would we, Giselle? How would we say Maria is always cheerful?
Maria es siempre alegre.
Yep. Siempre before the verb. Always is always. Maria siempre. Now you could say es alegre if she's always cheerful. If she's a cheerful personality. But if she's cheerful, you could say siempre está alegre. So it's a very fine distinction, isn't it, between somebody who is inherently cheerful or someone who appears cheerful all the time.
If she's always cheerful, isn't that inherent then?
Yeah, I would think it probably is, but you know, she might be always cheerful when she sees you, but when she gets home, she might be a right grugnonia. Who knows? It's one of the subtleties, and you know, it's one way that you can use the Spanish language to explore these fine distinctions. Feliz is
Oh,
the
just
word
a
that
quick-
we've used.
Just a quick question on that one, Eric. Grunion, is it usual to get two accents on a word? Because I'm sure I read somewhere there's generally only one.
There is only one accent on the word, yeah. So grunion is just has one accent, which is on the o, and that's where the stress of the goes in the word. The other thing with the squiggly thing over the top, the tilde it's called, I think, is it's not an accent, it's actually a letter. So you in Spanish you have the letter N, and you also have an NA in Spanish.
Okay.
You also have that letter there, which is an Nye, and N of course is pronounced N, but the Nye is pronounced with a Nya. So
Okay, thank you.
yeah, it does throw your eye a bit, knowing where to put the stress, but it goes on. The accent always carries the stress.
Okay, thank you. Gracias.
Feliz y triste, happy and sad. We've used feliz quite a bit, I think, already. Triste, somebody who is sad. And of course, we say feliz cumpleaños when it's somebody's birthday. Happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños. You can also, if somebody's happy, you can also describe them as animado or animada if it's a woman. So the word we've used for lively can also mean happy. Good. I think we've one more page to go, and then we've completed these. Difícil y fácil. Difficult and easy. So Jane, Lily, tell me how you'd say this is difficult. How would you say this is difficult? You're still on mute, Jane, so I can see your lips going, but I can't hear anything.
Esta es difícil.
Yeah, esta es difícil. When it's something that is not specifically masculine or feminine, use the gender neutral one. So esto es difícil. This is difficult. Say we wanted to say these questions, or this question is difficult. Question is, what's the word for question?
Pregunta.
Pregunta, sí. La pregunta. So question is feminine noun. So we say esta pregunta es difícil. So this question is difficult. But if it's just this is difficult and you're not specifying what it is, we'd use a gender neutral one, esto, and of course masculine, este. It always throws me that este, esta, esto, and then you've got ese, esa, eso. It's my brain always has to do a little pause for a second, or sometimes a full minute before it sinks in. So where are we? Joven y no, wait a minute.
Fea.
Missed one. Fea or feo. Bonita, bonito, linda, guapa. So fea, feo is ugly. Lots of words for pretty. Slightly different meanings. Bonito or bonita, pretty. Linda. I've never heard lindo used for for a man, but there must be. You must be able to
Eric,
describe.
isn't it Lindo Christabel in the Christmas Carol?
Lindo Christabel. Yeah, could be. I don't remember my carols that well, but yeah, that's pretty bell. Guapa, guapo. You do get those. Used for a. It carries a suggestion of sexiness to it. So you'd use it for a handsome chap would be guapo, and a handsome lady would be guapa. I'm told that Spanish builders don't wolf whistle. They shout guapa, guapa when a pretty lady walks by. But I think probably like wolf whistling now, you'd get arrested for that, wouldn't you? So times change, times move on. So joven y viejo, young and old. Viejo or vieja, you can change the ending depending on the gender of the noun. Lorraine, how are you this morning? Are you well? Nice to see you. What have we got for you? How would you say, Lorraine, how would you say Frank is old and rich, but his wife is young and pretty?
Gosh. Frank is old. Frank is viejo. I
know when you get an E and an I or an I and an E, it really throws you, but you've got to just get your tongue around pronouncing a letter. And it is difficult. Yeah. So, viejo.
So Frank es viejo y rico.
Yeah.
Pero su esposa es joven y bonita.
Muy bien. Very well done. Excellent. Útil y inútil. Lovely words, those. Inútil for useless. I think that's a really good word. I'm tempted to drop that into the English language. I like it so much. Who have we got there? Have we Caroline? Caroline Ingram. Are you there? She's pretending not to be there. She's turned the mic.
I am here.
She's turned the mic and her camera off. Things people do to avoid being asked a question. So, how would you say this computer is useless?
Esto computo. Is it computo? What's computer?
Computadora.
Computadora. So it's esta.
Esta.
Computadora es inútil.
Inútil. Good. Excellent. Mejor, peor is better and worse, and tranquilo, ruidoso. Don't forget QU is a hard K, so it's tranquilo. Quiet, ruidoso, noisy. If you wanted to say the street is very noisy tonight, how would you say that, Linda? Linda Broughton.
The
street is very noisy tonight.
Okay. El calle.
La calle.
Oh, la calle.
Yeah.
Es muy Budioso.
Yeah. Tonight is
Tonight. So we're talking now, really, aren't we? So would that be at ora, assuming we were talking at night, or
tonight? Well, esta noche is tonight.
all right,
Esta noche. Yeah, you say it's very noisy now. So you know, here we are again. We've got the street is very noisy tonight. Are we saying that it isn't usually noisy, but it is tonight? Or are we saying the street's very noisy tonight and it's always blooming noisy at night? So you can choose to use ser, or you could choose to use estar, depending on what you mean. But it's la calle es or esta muy ruidosa. Don't forget the a ending because we're talking about a feminine verb. And esta noche. Negro y blanco, black and white. And of course, it would be negra y blanca. That's fine. And again, you know, you could be in the situation of saying that if we said the night's very black, we're talking about it isn't always black, probably. So, la noche está muy negra. You're just talking about how it is at that particular time. So, well done, well done. That's got all your brains going, hasn't it? That's got you all working extra hard. We're trying to have a look at some negatives here now. And to make something negative in Spanish, just stick a no in front of it. It's pretty easy. So, tengo hambre, I'm hungry. Now we don't say, you remember, we don't say estoy hambre. You say tengo hambre, I have hunger. If you're not hungry, it's simply no tengo hambre. We use the same with thirsty, so we don't say I am thirsty, estoy sed. We say I have thirst, tengo sed. If you're not thirsty, no tengo sed. I'm happy. Now again, when do we know how to say I have happiness, or I have thirst, or I am thirsty, I am happy? There's probably a rule there, but if there is, I don't know it. I've just learnt that you have thirst, but you are happy. So estoy feliz. If you're not happy, no estoy feliz. Or you could say estoy triste if you wanted to, of course, because we know the opposite now. Quiero comer, I want to eat. No quiero comer, I don't want to eat. Pretty straightforward. No, the word no always comes before the conjugated verb. And in Spanish, we have these wonderful double negatives. So, quiero nada, I want nothing. But the Spanish aren't happy with saying I want nothing. They have to say no quiero nada, I don't want nothing. But we translate it as I don't want anything, which makes sense to us. So no quiero nada, I don't want anything. But the Spanish will often stick a couple of no's there just for extra emphasis. So no quiero nada, you might find a Spanish speaker saying. Or even no quiero nada de nada. Nada de nada is nothing at all. So you can get quite a string of negatives in a Spanish sentence, depending how emphatic they want to be about telling you that they don't want anything. It's quite good fun. Oh, right. So we've been doing a few family members, haven't we? How well can we remember our family members? Now, these should be becoming fairly familiar to us by now. Abigail, I can't see you, but
Yeah.
I know you're there. Good morning. Buenos dias. How
Can you see me now?
I probably can, but you shot to the top of the screen. I don't know how these galleries work, but that's fine. Yes, no, you're not shot quite to the top of the screen, but there you are, so I can see you. Can you go through these?
I'll try.
Yeah.
So father, padre,
Mm-hmm.
el padre, la madre.
Mm-hmm.
Esposo, esposa, marido.
You can use marido. Esposo is fine. El esposo is absolutely fine.
And wife, esposa.
Yeah. So la esposa. Sometimes in Spain it used to be wives used to be called mi mujer, my woman. I think that's not allowed anymore. They're getting quite woke, the Spaniards, which is an amazing thing, really, considering how unreconstructed they were. El marido or el esposo is fine. I think you can probably also say my man, but we do that in English sometimes, don't we? I'm getting sidetracked here. How about son, Abigail?
El hijo.
Mm-hmm.
And daughter, la hija.
Yeah.
Brother, el hermano. And sister, la hermana.
Yeah.
El abuelo. La abuela. Grandchildren, los nietos.
Good.
Or nietas, if they were all girls, I suppose.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Oh, so grandson is el nieto, and granddaughter la nieta.
Good. Yeah.
Cousin el primo.
See?
Or prima.
Yeah, if it's a female, or cousins would be primos. Yeah. Or primas if they're all girls. Yeah.
Son-in-law el yerno or something like that.
Excellent. Bang on, exactly like that. Well done.
Daughter-in-law, something like nuera or
La nuera. Yeah. Muy bien.
Nephew. Oh, nephew, is that sobrino? Sobrino?
Sobrino.
Sobrino.
El sobrino.
And la sobrina.
Muy bien.
And aunt is Tia.
See?
And uncle Tio.
Yeah. Yes. Well done. Excellent. And we the other year we had questions about step children, step parents. There's far more people on their second or even third marriages these days. So lots of madrastras, padastros, hijastros, hijastras kicking about as well. So useful to know those. Father-in-law is suegro, and mother-in-law is suegra. So it's useful to know those two. And in Spanish, they have a word for your father, your counter father-in-law, or we don't have a word for it in English. You'd have to say the dad of my daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-law's father. But in Spanish, you can say consuegro or consuegra, which is sometimes useful. Good. I don't know why my screen's telling me there's some music playing, but I can't hear any music. Nobody can hear music, I guess. No. So now we're going to look at things that we do in the house. Okay, we've got lots of verbs. We chaps will be very familiar with all of these. What do they mean? Apple. Can you remember what these verbs are?
Am I mute? Or
Yeah,
can you hear?
you come off mute now. We can hear you.
Right,
Nice.
oh, okay. Limpia, to clean. Preparar, to prepare. Lavar, to wash.
Yep.
Planchar, iron.
Yep.
Fregar. Is that to scrub something?
It is to scrub, yeah.
Sacar, to put out.
Yep.
Like put out the rubbish.
Yep.
Barre, to sweep.
Yep.
Cocinar, to cook.
See?
Aspirar, vacuum.
Vacuum, yeah. We put aspirar in last year because we were last year using a book called Sueños, which is an old Spanish textbook from a BBC schools series, and let's put those up. And they talked about sweeping the floor, and so I think somebody says, who sweeps the floor these days? We have vacuum cleaners for that. Nobody sweeps the carpet or sweeps the floor. So we thought it was time to stick in the verb to vacuum. It also means to breathe or to inhale. So you can use it for that purpose as well. So they're all regular verbs, which is nice. I do love a regular verb. Most of them are AR verbs. There's just one ER verb there, varrer. So because they're all regular verbs, we all know how to conjugate them, don't we? When we're conjugating an AR verb, we drop the AR ending, which leaves the stem of the verb, and then we have specific endings to add. So yo is o, tú, has, a ese, él, ella, usted es a, nosotros es amos, vosotros es ais, y ellos, ustedes es an. So everybody happy with that? How do we feel about endings? Do we know the endings? Yeah, they're maybe they're a bit awkward to learn, but once you've got them in your head, it's a great advantage because you can come to a new verb, and if it's a regular verb, you know how to conjugate it. So that's great. There was one ER verb in there, valer, and to conjugate ER verbs, again, yo is o, tú is es, él, ella, usted es e, nosotros es hemos, vosotros es eis, y ellos, ustedes es en. So, again, if you get those in your head, you'll be able to conjugate any verb. So let's have a go at these sentences here. I'm going to pick on Ian because he's sitting there nice and quiet. And,
all right.
He's right underneath me on the little gallery. So I wash the clothes.
Lava la ropa.
Lavo
Lava
la
la ropa.
Muy bien, very good. Yeah.
My wife, mi esposa limpia el piso.
Very good. Yeah.
Is it planche mi camisa?
Plancho mi.
Plancha.
Yeah. Plancho mi camisas. Mis camisas.
Mis camisas.
Yeah, mis camisas. See.
You prepared dinner is to preparamos la cena.
La cena.
Cena.
Preparas.
Preparas.
Yeah. Tú preparas la cena. So, lavo la ropa. Mi esposa limpia la pizza. Plancho las camisas o mis camisas. Tú preparas la cena. Good stuff.
I think it's el piso, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be an O, not an A, surely.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think.
Tienes razón, Adrian. El piso is the floor. I just put these in to make sure that you're all awake. And bizarrely,
why do you have to put two in front of the preparas la cena? Because you don't put yo in front of.
No, you don't really. It's semi-redundant. It's not needed. You can say preparas la cena, or you can say tú preparas la cena. You put it in for emphasis, really. So if you want to say I wash the clothes, you know, if you're having an argument with your husband, or you know, about what he does or doesn't do in the house, and he's giving you a list of things, you might say yo lavo la ropa. So it's there for emphasis if you need it, or it's there for clarification. Sometimes you might, if it's preparar la cena, it could be él or ella, or you know. So you may need to qualify it and use the pronoun, but. You're quite right. It's in this particular instance, it is redundant, effectively. Yeah.
But you'd use it in English, wouldn't you, Eric?
Yeah, we would.
I mean, you would always use it in English. We'd always say you prepared dinner or I prepared dinner. You wouldn't just say prepare dinner or.
No, exactly. But in English, it's I prepare, you prepare.
Yeah.
You'd say he, she prepares, they prepare. We prepare, So there's only 2 conjugations effectively. In Spanish, you've got a separate conjugation all the way through. So it's absolutely clear who is doing it from the conjugation. Let's. We've got another round here. How are we doing on time? Yeah. So Adrian, can you do these? Will you wash the plates?
¿Vas a lavar los platos?
You're going to wash the plates. Yeah, that works. Tú lavas los platos. You wash the plates with a emphasis at the end. It works well. I take out the trash.
Saco la basura.
Good. The yo is there if you want to make sure your wife knows that you're doing a useful job around the house. We sweep the patio together.
Barremos el patio. Juntos. Yes, together. Cocino el desayuno. Para mi esposa.
Para mi esposa. Or para mi mujer. I've gone old Spanish here. Yeah. Well done.
Eric, if we just go back to will you wash the plates? Could you put podrías? You will or not? And then podrías lavar?
Podrías, could you? Yeah, could you? In the conditional, could you wash the plates? You could say podrías, or you could say puedes lavas los platos. Can you wash the plates? You could say either of those. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
I mean, this isn't the right way to say it, and everything else is wrong. Just like in English, there's lots of ways to construct that sentence, and if you're, it depends how charming you want to be when you're asking somebody to do something. Really, can you wash the plates? Could you possibly wash the plates? It's just a way around.
Eric, sorry, I know you want to move on, but can I ask something?
It's fine. Yeah,
in that last one, why is it para mi mujer and not por mi mujer? What's the difference between the para and por?
Okay. Have we got a spare hour to go through right now? The whole por v para debate is something that takes quite some time. We do a complete lesson on that later in the year. For the moment, trust me, it's para. Por has a slightly different meaning, but it's a very subtle difference, and knowing which one to use is something that still baffles me from time to time. I know some of them I know which one to use because I've done it lots of times before. Others I have to stop and think or look it up. My son still isn't sure, and he's been learning Spanish more intensively than me for slightly longer than me. So Lorraine, it's an uphill task, I'm afraid. We'll I have got a couple of videos on it, and if you like, I'll post a link to those videos in in the notes, with the notes, so we can have a look at that. And I'll do that.
If you were to get them muddled in Spain when you're talking to Spanish, they would understand you though, would they?
I think, no, of course they would. Yeah, of course they would. I mean, there are some subtle differences. If you want to say, this train is for Madrid, este tren es para Madrid. If you said por Madrid, you would suggest it's going through or around, so it's via Madrid. So the differences are fairly subtle, but you know, you'd be understood. You'd just be identified as a Spanish speaker with L plates on. Which, you know, we're striving for perfection, aren't we here? So let's aim for the stars, and if we reach the roof, then that's a good thing. Okay, so days of the week we've got here, and Lorraine, since you just muted yourself. I was going to say, seeing as you're speaking, you could do the days of the week for us, can't you? Can you remember what they are?
Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo.
Good. Yeah. Few slightly dodgy pronunciations there. Lunes, martes, miércoles. There's a stress on that E, so the stress on the front of the word there, which is quite unusual in Spanish. Jueves, viernes. Again, the stress on the front of the word in Saturday, sábado, and domingo. I often get sábado and domingo confused, but since lockdown, I've got a job to know what day of the week it is. If it wasn't for Spanish classes on a Tuesday, I'd be completely lost. My wife did salad on Sunday and roast dinner last night. I was completely confused this week. No idea what it is. So, how often do we do things? Todos los días means
every day.
Cada día is each day. Subtle difference. And we've got lots of words here. Who's not done anything yet? Carl normally escapes. Done anything yet, Carl? Has he? Have you?
No.
You've not? No. How did that?
I have. No, you got me this time. I did one thing.
Did you? Amazing. How about these? So can you get these?
Yeah. Every morning, every afternoon, every night, every Saturday, every Sunday, once a week, twice a week, never, sometimes, often, sometime again. I'm not sure. There's from time to time.
Yeah, sometimes it works for Deves and Crandor as well. Yeah. So useful phrases to know. Not because you're going to be lecturing Spaniards on how often you do things, but you know, if you want to know when is the market, when are the shops are open, when are the bars open, those kind of things. So they're all useful things to know. And to ask how often something is done, something happens. Con qué frecuencia? Con qué frecuencia? With what frequency is a direct translation. We'd never say that in English, we'd say how often, but con qué frecuencia. So, por ejemplo, con qué frecuencia lavas el coche? How often do you wash the car? No, it's me. It's not very often, I have to admit. And one of the worst things about lockdown for my wife is that hairdressers are closed. I quite like it because I hate having a haircut. I always have done. When I was a little boy, I used to have to be bribed with lollipops to sit still and have my haircut. I still don't enjoy it, but my wife really misses the hairdresser. I really miss the fact that car washes are closed because I hate washing the car. I don't particularly like having a dirty car either.
You shouldn't be driving your car anyway, so it won't get dirty.
Well, I don't know. I've got to go to the supermarket and essential journeys to shopping. But I mean, Carl, you're absolutely right. I think I've done 5,000 miles this year in the car, which is really, really low, and that includes, quite a bit of whizzing around in the summer when we were out of lockdown. Carl, while you're unmuted, ¿con qué frecuencia cocinas el desayuno?
No come desayuno.
No come
desayuno.
You don't eat breakfast, and you don't cook it either. No? Does Giselle eat breakfast?
Sí.
But you don't cook her breakfast?
No cocino el desayuno.
A mí, todos los días, yo cocino la cena. El desayuno. Don't know why I've switched from breakfast to dinner. It's a day gone, isn't it? Giselle, ¿con qué frecuencia planchas las camisas? I hope it's nunca. If he's not going to cook your breakfast, I wouldn't go near a shirt.
Plancho las camisas 2 veces en el mes.
Oh. A mí, Eric nunca las plancha. I can iron, but I'm not very good at it. So when I've attempted it, I've been criticised. So I've also always been able to sort of claim the higher ground. Well, I'm very willing to iron the shirt, but if it's not good enough for you, then do it, sir. That's mine. It doesn't. I don't iron many shirts though nowadays. In the winter, I've always got a top on, and I don't wear shirts the same since I gave up work. I've got a wardrobe full of jackets, suits, shirts, dress shirts, and ties, and I wear a tie, I don't know, once a month maybe if I go out. Anyway, who's next? Jane, Lily, ¿con qué frecuencia barres el piso?
Barro el piso 2 veces a la semana.
A mí, no barremos el piso. Tenemos una aspiradora. We've got a vacuum cleaner, so we vacuum the floor. And it's a smart one, so it knows if it's doing tiles or carpet. It's amazing, isn't it? It changes when it goes from the carpet to the tiles. What's it do? It raises or it lowers its brushes. So that's clever, isn't it? My friend and my son have got robot vacuum cleaners, which just go around and clean the floor when they're not there. Then they go back and plug themselves in and recharge themselves. That's quite amazing. They do quite a good job too, apparently, but they cost a fortune. So I'm not going to be buying one anytime soon. Where are we? Caroline Gray. Whoops. ¿Con qué frecuencia sacas el basura? La basura. It should be la basura. I've got to get rid of this secretary. Caroline, you're still on mute, Caroline Gray.
Yeah.
There we go. ¿Con qué frecuencia sacas la basura?
Nunca.
Nunca.
Mi esposo saca el basura.
La basura. Yeah. Sorry, don't repeat my mistake. Muy bien. Muy bien. A mí, no. A menudo. A mi esposa le gusta sacar la basura. She likes the recycling. She likes to bag up the rubbish, and I don't bother bagging up the rubbish. So she always gets in there before I do it. Paul, admin, as he's otherwise known. Is somebody talking to you? Look a bit distracted there, Paul. Somebody asking if you'd like a nice cup of tea.
I was reading something. What you've written.
Oh, right. ¿Con qué frecuencia lavas el coche?
Mi lama el coche a veces.
So, lavo. Don't say me lavo. That's I wash myself.
Okay.
We're going to do reflexive verbs. So if you wash yourself sometimes, you don't want to be admitting that to people. And for me, especially, yo lavo mi coche una vez al año. Very bad at washing my car.
Same here.
So it's 10:57. I think Adrian's probably gone. Let's just run through these verbs. Other activities that you might do. To read, leer. Now it's a double E there. We have to pronounce both E's. So we have, and of course, E's in Spanish are A's. Don't forget the vowel sounds. A, E, O, I, U. So E, le, E. We have to pronounce them both. Le. Beber is to drink. We use that one quite a bit. That's hablar, to speak. We've used that before as well. Escribir is to write. And comer, to eat. They're all regular verbs except escribir. They're all regular verbs and they're all AR or ER except escribir. So we need to know how to conjugate regular IR verbs. So we have yo is o, tu is es, él, ella, usted es e, nosotros imos, IMOS, vosotros is, ellos, ustedes, en. So that's okay. Now we're going to go on to do reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs are things that you do to yourself, and that's a treat for next week. We'll crack on with those. I think we've just gone past 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's bang on 11. So we're not going to get a chance to do those this week. We'll save them for next week. Any questions?
No, that's good.
Algunos
Thank you.
preguntas? No?
No preguntas.
Good. Well, good or bad, it might be that you've all been asleep for the last hour.
Definitely not.
So we'll pick up next week. I was going to send you around a little bit of homework, and I'll send you around lesson notes and some video links later on today or tomorrow morning. So that's it for today. Ciao a todos. Nos vemos la próxima semana.
Eric.
Yes, Ian.
Just to say, I've been trying to get Marilyn onto Google Classes for weeks now, and whenever she's got a Google account and things, but when you get to the point to launch the class, it goes, are you going to launch it with Google or Facebook or whatever it is, and it just goes right, and you log in and it just goes round and round in circles. So I've actually given up. That's why she's not done the exercises. It's not,
right.
Can't get her on. I just can't, for some reason I can't get her on. I've tried and tried.
Yeah. Can she get onto Google Classrooms? Can she open
Probably, yeah.
So she can get onto that, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can get into it. We can get into the site, but it's when you want to go into the class.
When you want to do the exercise. Yeah,
that happens to me as well, Ian. But sometimes it just seems to be a delay. Almost you have to repeat it a couple of times, then wait, and then it seems to log on. But I have a couple of times where it asks me, then it asks me again, it asks me a third time, then it goes on.
Well, I think after the 20th time today, I gave up.
Right.
The other day, and I've just given up on it. So I mean,
it may even be a problem with the site.
Well, it could be.
It
could be that she doesn't. Yeah, it could be that she doesn't use a Google account very often.
Well, as long as she's logged in, it should be okay.
Yeah.
Because she can log into the Google Classroom. When you click on the exercise, it should launch it. But the exercise,
the links.
The exercise doesn't come from Google Classrooms. No. It comes from Spanish Dict. So you will need a Spanish Dict account.
Yeah, which we haven't got. So you'd have to have that as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So you have to.
So Spanish Dict's quite a useful site, SpanishDict.com. And you can go onto that, and you can use it without an account for looking things up.
Oh yeah, we've used it for that. Yeah.
But you can also launch an account, and then you can get access to the what's her name? And Linda's telling me she tried to set up a Spanish Dict account, but it wasn't having it. So,
yeah, it's quite fussy.
It can be frustrating. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's the Spanish Dict that's the problem, not the Google Classrooms. It's the link between the two, and that's you go around in circles if you don't have an account. If you get an account set up and put it on your iPad first, it seems to pick it up better.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Anyway, we haven't given up, but we've nearly given up.
Don't throw your computer against the wall.
Let's get into it in your one, Ian.
I do it, but once you've done the exercise, this other person can't. So, well, never mind. It's fine. All right. Thanks.
Good stuff. Yeah. Ciao, everybody. And hello, Amanda. You've been hiding there. I've not seen you until just.
I didn't realise it had automatically switched the camera off.
I did.
Yeah, you have to actively switch it on, whereas before it was automatically on. So they must have had an upgrade or something.
Yeah. So I've not been ignoring you. I just couldn't see you.
No, I didn't realise. There you go.
Good. We'll see you all next week. Cheers.
Bye.
Ciao.